of India Today Conclave 2023. Presenting sponsor RP Sanjeev Goenka Group.
Co-presented by Star Health Insurance, the health insurance specialist. Co-presented by Panasonic, create today, enrich tomorrow.
Co-presented by JK Tyre Ranger Series, stay wild at heart.
Co-powered by Sera, this is your space, play it your way.
Good evening, hello and welcome. You're with the news today, your primetime destination news. Newsmakers talking points, showdown in Parliament. Has Rahul Gandhi scored a self-goal or is the government evading a debate on Adani by asking Rahul to apologize? That's going to be our big talking point. Also, Natu has created Oscar history. We'll tell you why that means so much. But first, as always, it's time for the 9 headlines at 9. History is made at the Oscars. Natu from the popular Telugu language movie RRR selected as the best original song at the 95th Academy Award. India also wins in the best short documentary category for Elephant Whispers. A double delight. India's second Oscar is for Elephant Whisperers, which won the category of best documentary short film. Outrage in Parliament over Rahul Gandhi's remarks in the United Kingdom that Indian democracy is under threat. The ruling BJP asked Rahul Gandhi to apologize. Congress calls it an attempt to divert from the Adani debate. The Supreme Court refers to same-sex marriage plea to a 5-judge constitution bench. The government calls institution of marriage a policy matter requiring serious discussion. A setback to Uddhav Thackeray ahead of the BMC polls. Close aide Bhushan Desai switches camp, joins Eknath Shinde's Sena. Islamabad court issues a non-bailable arrest warrant against Imran Khan. Police instructed to present the ex-PM in court by the 29th of March. India's retail inflation eases to 6.44% in February but remains above the RBI's target band. Speculation suggests RBI could increase borrowing costs to the highest level in 7 years. The US government steps in to bail out depositors of the failed Silicon Valley Bank. US President Biden guarantees them access to all their cash from Monday. And India qualify for the World Test Championship after New Zealand beat Sri Lanka in a last ball thriller in Christchurch. Will face Aussies in the finals in June. But the story that's breaking at this moment, first it's been Rahul Gandhi, now late this evening, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra has also come under attack from the BJP. Union Minister Anurag Thakur has cited an FATF report, that's the anti-terror financing report, where the case study of Yes Bank's former MD, the jailed Rana Kapoor, has been used to allege that Kapoor bought a painting from Priyanka Gandhi Vadra in exchange as a bribe for a Padma Bhushan. Thakur has asked Priyanka Gandhi Vadra to come clean on who forced Rana Kapoor to allegedly pay 2 crore rupees as a bribe to purchase the painting.
Priyanka ji, who forced Rana Kapoor to pay 2 crore rupees bribe or 2 crore rupees for the purchase of a painting? Who is Mr. R who has been involved? And whether it was painting for Padma Bhushan, whether it was cash for Padma Bhushan, how many such incidents have happened during the UPA time? How many such Padma awards are being sold or paintings have been sold and money has been raised?
There you can see now a painting acquired by Priyanka Gandhi Vadra from the Yes Bank founder Rana Kapoor, now the subject of a controversy. Remember, Priyanka Gandhi, this issue is not the first time it's been raised, but the very fact that it's now come in an FATF report has given the BJP added ammunition, and it comes at a time when, as I said, Rahul Gandhi himself has found himself under the eye of the scanner from the BJP. So first targeting Rahul Gandhi and now Priyanka Gandhi Vadra. The Congress is yet to respond. Remember, in the last few days, the BJP has escalated its targeting of Rahul Gandhi, now bringing in Priyanka Gandhi Vadra as well into that entire issue, claiming that this painting which she sold was in exchange, they argue, for a Padma Bhushan. Now, Rahul Gandhi is under attack in Parliament over remarks he made in the United Kingdom alleging threat to democracy in India. Today, on the first day of the second part of the budget session, union ministers demanded an apology from Rahul Gandhi. They are accusing him of defaming India on foreign soil. The opposition, particularly the Congress, are claiming that the government wants to create a ruckus to avoid any debate on the Adani stock crisis, an issue which they claim will embarrass the Modi government. Here is tonight's top story.
So the surprising thing is that the so-called defenders of democracy, which are the United States, European countries, seem to just be oblivious that a huge chunk of the democratic model has come undone.
Rahul Gandhi's one remark in the UK is haunting his party back home.
जिसने किया उन्हीं के पार्टी ने किया। भारत की प्रतिष्ठा पर होने का जो शर्म है तो राहुल गांधी इस सदन में आके माफी मांगना चाहिए।
As Parliament reconvened on Monday, the Treasury benches pounced upon the Congress, demanding an apology from Rahul for a statement they described as an insult to India.
वरिष्ठ नेता कांग्रेस के जिन्होंने देश के बाहर जाके विदेशी धरती पर अंतर्राष्ट्रीय अलग देशों से कहा कि भारत में लोकतंत्र खतरे में है, ऐसे व्यक्ति के ऊपर इस सदन में घोर निंदा करनी चाहिए।
The Congress promptly jumped to the defense of Rahul Gandhi.
सदन का सदस्य नहीं है और वो दूसरे सदन से सदस्यों को यहाँ पर रेफर करके उनको टीका करना और पूरे कांग्रेस पार्टी के ऊपर टीका करना, ये जो लीडर ऑफ द हाउस है, इनके स्टेटमेंट को मैं कंडेम करता हूँ। सर, मोदी साहब चाइना में जाके कहते हैं हिंदुस्तान में डेमोक्रेसी नहीं है, हिंदुस्तान बचा नहीं है, हिंदुस्तान 2014 के बारे में ये सब कांग्रेस के सरकार के खिलाफ इतनी आग उठाई।
The two houses were later adjourned for the day after interruptions by the BJP and the opposition. The opposition leaders, led by Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge, marched from Parliament to Vijay Chowk to register their protest.
जब अदानी की बात हम उठाते हैं, जेपीसी की उठाते हैं, तो फौरन एक तो माइक भी बंद होता है, दूसरे तरफ हंगामा भी शुरू होता है। ये जो है, इसके लिए आज भी हम जेपीसी डिमांड कर रहे हैं, सब मिलके इसके लिए एक हैं।
The controversy over Rahul Gandhi's remark foiled the opposition's mission to corner the government over the Adani Group's share crisis. It also overshadowed a nationwide Congress protest. The party led protest rallies to Raj Bhavan in many states, demanding a joint parliamentary committee probe into the Adani crisis. The opposition had planned to pin the government down on a range of issues, from Adani to alleged misuse of central agencies to Chinese incursions. And now, in Rahul's Save Democracy appeal made in the UK, the Modi government seems to have found an effective counter to thwart the opposition. Bureau Report, India Today.
Some of those big questions. Is the BJP trying to deflect attention from the Adani issue by calling for Rahul Gandhi's apology? Did Rahul Gandhi fall into a trap by speaking out of turn in London? Is Parliament heading for another washout? Is the government unwilling to touch the Adani issue? Does the BJP want to make 2024 Modi versus Rahul once again? Raising all the questions that are often not asked on prime time. Joining me now, Syed Zafar Islam, BJP's evergreen spokesperson. Manikam Tagore is Congress Member of Parliament Ravulla Sridhar Reddy is leader of the Bharatiya Rashtra Samiti, the Telangana party, and Rahul Srivastav is our national affairs editor. Let's start with you, Syed Zafar Islam. You are calling for Rahul Gandhi to apologize for what he has said in the United Kingdom. There is a belief that this is a diversionary tactic, or that's what the Congress says, from the core issue, which is Adani. They want to discuss Adani, you want to discuss everything but Adani. How do you respond?
Well, Adani is something which is a private company, and there's nothing which needs to be discussed on the floor of the parliament. It's a company which he is running as a businessman. There is nothing which a political party needs to discuss. A business, whether it's doing good or bad, is something which he has to worry about it, or the shareholder has to worry about it, not the government or the parliament. But what is important is that a parliamentarian who has won from a constituency in the country, who has been representing a political party and as a senior member of the political party, is speaking on a foreign soil, in the foreign parliament, British parliament, as well as in a university and in the press. And what is he speaking? He is talking about the democracy is in danger. It's the mother of all democracies. Whether it's a BJP government, whether it's
does he have a freedom? Zafar Islam, does he have a freedom of opinion or not? If Rahul Gandhi believes democracy is in danger, that's his right. I mean, why should he apologize for that?
No. Of course he must apologize.
Why?
He can put our government in the dock. No, let me just complete. He has the right to speak about our government. He can put us in the dock if he is not happy with certain development or certain thing which is being done by the government. But when he is on a foreign soil, when he is talking to foreign media, he must respect our country, dignity of our country.
Okay, you're saying he should have. Okay, I take your point. Okay, can I just hold on? I want to play. No, just a minute now.
Let me just come.
No, Zafar Islam, just a minute. You must now play. I'm going to play out what Prime Minister Modi said in Seoul after he became Prime Minister in 2015. Since you're saying foreign soil is where Rahul Gandhi should not have spoken like this, listen in to what Prime Minister Modi said. Then I want you to respond.
हिंदुस्तान में पैदा हुए, ये कोई देश है, ये कोई सरकार है, ये कोई लोग है, चलो छोड़ो चले जाए कहीं और लोग निकल पड़ते थे। कुछ वर्षों में तो हम ये भी देखते थे, उद्योग जगत के लोग कहते भाई अब तो यहाँ व्यापार नहीं करना है जी, अब यहाँ नहीं रहना है, और ज्यादातर लोगों ने तो एक पैर बाहर रख ही दिया था। और मैं आज विश्वास से कह सकता हूं कि अलग अलग जीवन के गणमान्य लोग, बड़े बड़े साइंटिस्ट क्यों ना हो, विदेशों में कितनी ही कमाई क्यों ना होती हो, उससे कम कमाई होती हो तो भी आज भारत वापस आने के लिए उत्सुक हो रहे हैं, आनंदित हो रहे हैं।
So for 70 years, the Prime Minister says lots of people wanted to leave the country. Is that not also, Zafar Islam, on foreign soil, showing India in a bad light? I mean, come on. There can't be different rules for different folks.
Pradeep, come on. Come on. I am really aghast that you are comparing the two statements. He is speaking in a reference to what people used to speak. He is not speaking. He said what the people's opinion was at that point in time. People were fed up with the governance model. People were fed up with the corruption, which was rampant corruption in the country. And people were fed up because the businessmen were harassed for collecting hafta, or so-called hafta means basically the bribe, which Congress was known for collecting bribe, and through the middlemen. So people wanted to leave, and the brain drain was there. Today, he's talking about there is no brain drain. The businessman, everybody wants to be in India and contribute and be productive in India. Because there is a governance model. And
the fact is,
he's not talking about anything negative about anybody. But he's not questioning about the democracy. He's talking about the corruption. In what context he's talking? In 2012, ask anyone on the street.
The total number of Indians, Mr. Zafar Islam, the total number of Indians who have given up their Indian citizenship since 2011 comes to 16,63,440. The highest in this period, in fact, was last year, 2,25,206. You know, my point is, Parliament is supposed to debate the issues that are relevant to India. By seeking an apology from Rahul Gandhi, are you diverting from that? I want a quick, sharp answer.
Not at all. No,
you don't want to discuss Adani.
If they were really
concerned.
concerned.
You don't want to discuss Adani, so you are using anything and everything to keep the debate away from Adani.
Rajdeep, you know, there is a business advisory committee. All the political parties have representation in business advisory committee. They discuss what are the issues which need to be discussed on the floor of the parliament. And there is a meeting of minds, and that has already been agreed between all the political parties that 12 hours will be allocated for X, Y, Z discussion. X hours will be allocated for this discussion.
Government is unwilling to discuss the Adani issue.
They are not. No. We want to discuss every single issue they want to discuss. But they want to disrupt the parliament. Are they behaving like any other political party should have been behaving in the parliament? They are disrupting the parliament. They are not behaving responsibly in the parliament. They first come across as a responsible politician. They are representing a constituency, and the interest of those constituency needs to be safeguarded, and that can happen only if the business is being transacted on the floor of the parliament. Something which they are not allowing.
Mr. Zafar Islam, you made your point.
Concern is.
You made your point. Now Manikam Tagore must respond. I gave you enough of time. Manikam Tagore, at the end of the day, the treasury benches decide what is discussed in parliament, what is not. It doesn't seem to be as if the entire opposition is one that they want to discuss the Adani issue. In fact, now, few of the opposition parties whom we invited on the show today didn't even come when they heard that Adani will be discussed. So I want to understand, is the Congress the only party that wants a discussion on the Adani issue in Parliament?
Thank you. There are 16 parties today met in the morning in Parliament, and including Aam Aadmi Party and DMK, NCP. There are 16 parties which met today in the morning with in Kargeji's chamber, and we all decided that we will take up Adani Modi issue in a clear-cut way, and we will continue to seek the answers from the government. And there is consensus among the 16 parties. There are 2-3 parties which has not been part of it. TMC was not part of today's meeting. For TMC, it has a different view, and BRS was not part of today's meeting. They were not there in the meeting today in the morning meeting. Therefore, they will have a different view. In democracy, other parties can have different view. There is no problem in having a different view. But majority of the opposition parties have a similar view, and we are all decided that we will take up the issues and we will ask the questions to the government. Parliament is a place where we need to ask questions and government should answer. That's the platform.
Sir,
but what happened in Lok Sabha today, 11 o'clock when we assembled after the obituary things, Rajnath Singh ji stood up at 11:02 to disturb the house. It is unheard about it. Defense Minister of India and the leader of the house in Lok Sabha stood up and to speak about other things other than the question hour, and follows with the Parliamentary Affairs Minister. Now, Treasury benches has decided to disturb Parliament. BJP has decided to disturb Parliament, not the Congress party or the opposition party.
So, but the fact is that Rahul Gandhi's statements have given the BJP an opportunity to say that Rahul Gandhi, when he talks about democracy, is in danger in this country, and then says, wonders, at least in one of his addresses, why the foreign power, why Europe, why America are silent. I mean, effectively suggesting that they need to break their silence, speak out on this issue. You are giving, I'll play this, just listen to what Rahul Gandhi said, and I want you to respond, Manikam Tagore, because you have given an opening to the BJP to suggest that Rahul Gandhi should not have made these statements on foreign soil, but listen in.
Well, how would you react if something, a structure 3.5 times Europe suddenly went non-democratic? Right? That's happened already. That's not something that is going to happen in the future. That's already happened. But there's no reaction. So the surprising thing is that the so-called defenders of democracy, which are the United States, European countries, seem to just be oblivious that a huge chunk of the democratic model has come undone, right? Which is a real problem. First of all, it's our problem, right? It's an internal problem. It's an Indian problem, and the solution is going to come from inside. It's not going to come from outside.
He says something on the 6th of March and then sort of changes his mind, Manikam Tagore, on the 7th. On the 6th of March, he was calling in a way for foreign countries to wake up to what's happening in India. 7th, he says it's an internal problem. You've given BJP an entry point to suggest that Rahul Gandhi should not have made these comments on foreign soil.
Please give me time, because that rules for 70 years. There was a 72 years rule in Indian politics. Always the Prime Ministers never speaks about the Indian politics outside in foreign nations, and the opposition parties also never did it. Only once Mr. Subramanian Swamy in 1975 tried to do it in outside in USA. But after 2014, every rule has been changed by Mr. Modi. Modi changed it. It is like a test match rules. Now it has become a 2020 rule. Rules has been changed for the game, and Mr. Modi goes everywhere, to Seoul, to US, to Brazil. Wherever he goes, he will attack the opposition parties and the 70 years rule of his predecessors. That is the rule change Mr. Modi has brought in, to find fault with the earlier dispensations. When Mr. Gandhi says that the democracy in India is under attack and democracy is having is trying now, what is wrong in it? He is telling the truth. Then Godi media can jump into it and create some kind of news about it. Then 7th, he cleared it very clearly.
No, it's not the big. No. You see, the problem with the Congress is you all always shoot.
It is because of the Godi media.
Okay, you're blaming the Godi media, saying the Godi media is responsible for this, but Rahul Gandhi is responsible clearly for what he says on foreign soil. I want to bring in Ravula Sridhar Reddy. Mr. Reddy, your party doesn't seem to want to discuss Rahul Gandhi. Are you all on the same page on Adani issues, on the issues that the opposition wants to raise, or you want to stay away from Rahul Gandhi? You do not want to make 2024 Rahul versus Modi?
Now, how can it be Rahul versus Modi? That let the time come, the people will decide who will be the right person to face Modi and all that. We have enough time.
Rahul Gandhi should apologize?
I don't think so, because if Rahul, every politician for that matter, has their right to express their opinions, irrespective of the place they wanted to speak. But at the same time, if it is actually belittling the country's respect or lowering the dignity, they must think, and people are there to decide.
No, do you think he was lowering the dignity?
I don't think so, because see, if that is lowering the dignity, what about our Honorable Prime Minister, working as a sales consultant to the one corporate? When, if everybody reminds the statement of a Sri Lankan foreign minister in the last week, he says the Prime Minister of India promoted Adani as the Indian representative for a business unit in Sri Lanka, and we see that as a government-to-government deal, that electricity deal. And you know what the electricity chief of Sri Lanka had to say about it. And after Adani, the Hindenburg report and all that, after all these things have become a controversy, when a prime minister can, promote one corporate, and the BJP spokesperson says, we don't want to even discuss about a corporate, we don't want to bother. And, Prime Minister bothers more about Adani, and you say we don't bother.
Okay,
what about one more thing I want to say? If Rahul Gandhi's comments, while I am not supporting, rather denying at this point in time, Rahul Gandhi's statements, it is, some other issue we'll discuss. What about Mr. Narendra Modi going to a foreign soil, breaking all protocols, campaign for the American presidentship? He said, Abki baar Trump Sarkar. Can you imagine, can you really expect a prime minister visiting a country, speaking about the incumbent president to become the next president? What business we have in it?
Okay, let Rahul Srivastava give us a sense which is less partisan. We've got, every political party has their view, but Rahul Srivastava, is this an attempt to deflect from the core Adani issue, which the opposition wants to raise? Or is this the BJP cleverly positioning the battle for 2024 as Modi versus Rahul? Prop up Rahul Gandhi, keep the attack on Rahul Gandhi so that he stays in the limelight.
Yes, Rajdeep. See, politics is about being clever. Politics is not about being unclever. See, from the first day when it has happened, it's very clear that the BJP will catch on to it and will make an outrage versus outrage battle. Your outrage versus my outrage, and it will become a Rahul Gandhi versus Modi and Congress versus the BJP. That's what the BJP wants, ultimate battle. If you allow me time, Rajdeep, I'll give you some very interesting. Today morning, every morning at 10 o'clock, there is a meeting with the Prime Minister, top leaders, Rajnath Singh, Amit Shah, everybody meets him. And in that meeting, it is decided whether MPs of the government or the BJP will go inside the house with firearms or with flowers. Signs were there. 4 MPs started protesting outside, asking for apology from Rahul Gandhi. Most of some ministers who walked in late, they started talking about an apology. At 11:03.33, 3 minutes past 11, Rajnath Singh take permission of the chair and the chair allows him. The choice of the man who raised the issue is interesting, Rajdeep. Rajnath Singh has the best relations with the opposition. The man who's usually the go-to man for the opposition, it was he who raises the issue and asks an apology, making everything black and white, in which he says that India was outraged and India felt hurt and he should apologize. Then it is the Parliamentary Affairs Minister and Piyush Goyal. Now, if you see the sequence, it happened right after, as one of the panelists said, 16 opposition parties held a meeting. Some were not there, but the fact is they decided that Adani and Hindenburg is going to be the mainstay of their attack on the government. So the government realized that the opposition is not going to let the House function, wants to run it on its own terms, on Hindenburg and Adani. So the government decided that this is going to be their preemptive strike, counter-offensive. Before they hit the floor, we will hit the floor.
You know, that's interesting the way you're putting it, Rahul Srivastava, but what is the rule under which he has to apologize?
Rajdeep, there is no rule, there is no resolution. If you remember, in sometime, I think in 2017-18, if I'm not wrong, 2017, it was Gujarat elections in which Prime Minister Narendra Modi was speaking in Palanpur in Gujarat when he made a remark regarding Dr. Manmohan Singh when he was Prime Minister, ex-Prime Minister, that he was sitting with some Pakistani officials and conspiring. Now, on that, the Congress disrupted the House, and it was Arun Jaitley who served an half apology saying that the government holds ex-Prime Minister Manmohan Singh in high esteem. One interesting element, Rajdeep, that the government has decided to work on its own terms. In this session, it only has to pass the finance bill. And on March 14th, 2018, if you recall, the finance bill was passed without any debate. And when it comes to apology, Rajdeep, another detail I would like to give, every time that the government is facing an attack from Congress or the opposition, Congress party or Rahul Gandhi, there is an apology element which comes in. For example, when Chaukidar Chor idea happened, then apology was demanded. When Supreme Court upheld the Rafale element, then on Sam Pitroda's comments and all, then apology was demanded in 2019. That was May 2019. Then January 23, SC verdict on note ban. Rahul Gandhi apology demanded. The BJP regularly demands an apology from Rahul Gandhi every time he steps out to attack the BJP or the government.
Let me, Syed Zafar Islam, kya hai? What is this apology politics? Why do you want Rahul? Where is the rule in the parliament that he has to apologize? You just are using it to deflect because you do not want Adani to be discussed. Let's be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. The government doesn't want Adani to be discussed. Therefore, you are using whatever you can to deflect from Adani. You're telling me on this show we are ready to discuss anything. In the previous session, the Prime Minister was silent on Adani. Now, when the opposition is demanding a discussion on it, are you ready? Discuss Adani, doodh ka doodh, pani ka pani.
Rajdeep, you understand how the parliament functions. There is a business advisory committee, as I said earlier.
The business advisory committee is unwilling to listen to the opposition.
Let me
the business advisory committee is unwilling to listen to the opposition.
That's not true. That's not true. You are stating something which is factually absolutely incorrect.
Not true.
You are misleading the nation by saying that there is a meeting of minds between the parties that these are the issues which need to be discussed. And once they are on
opposition
the
is
floor of the
claiming
parliament,
that they have gone to
they
the
start
speaker calling for a discussion on
Just a
Adani.
second.
The government is unwilling to do it.
No, see, what the issue needs to be discussed, that has to be discussed in the Business Advisory Committee. And when I am saying that there was a meeting of minds between the parties, means the issues have been resolved, that these are the issues which will be discussed.
No,
and
sir,
that
they
will
were
be
not
discussed
resolved.
and time has been
Do not
allocated.
mislead.
Unfortunately.
No, they were not. They were not discussed. They were not discussed. The government is unwilling.
You are in.
Government is
No,
unwilling
that's
to
not
discuss
correct.
Adani issue.
The government had allocated even 12 hours for such discussions, and they still chose to disrupt the parliament and behave irresponsibly. All I am trying to do, the business can be transacted.
Rahul Srivastava,
the parliament can
Rahul
function
Srivastava, you are no. I want a clarification. Rahul Srivastava, did the government agree to discuss the Adani issue at the Business Advisory Committee?
No, Rajdeep. There
I
have
am
been.
not talking about the issues which.
Rajdeep, there is a problem
Don't
here.
mislead. Zafar Islam, you have been caught on the wrong foot.
No,
Go ahead, Rahul.
Zafar, there is
See, you and I have no role to say anything. It is the Business Advisory Committee which is represented by all the political parties.
Sir, do not be disingenuous. Rahul Srivastava, 1 minute. Was it discussed?
You are fixated about X, Y, Z. I cannot
I am
say
not
X, Y, Z.
fixated.
What
The
has been
opposition
discussed
is.
in the Business Advisory Committee.
The opposition is saying this government is unwilling to discuss Adani's.
Then they should discuss in They should discuss in BSE.
Okay,
not here,
Manikam Thakur?
not outside the parliament.
Manikam Tagore, what happened?
Today, I'll just on the Business Advisory Committee. Today, 1:30, there was a Business Advisory Committee in the Lok Sabha. And let me put in the record clearly. There was a 1:30. The meeting was there in which Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary from the Congress Party and DMK leader Mr. T.R. Balu raised the issue of Adani, discussion on Adani. The government was not ready to do it. Therefore, they walked out of it, the meeting, and they boycotted the remaining part of the BAC. First time a speaker's called meeting has been boycotted by the main opposition parties. Both the parties has done it today, 1:30. Because of this hangama and others, nobody has noticed it. Because the government was not ready for a debate in Lok Sabha. That I wanted to put it.
So you're saying that at the Business Advisory Committee, yes, very quickly, Rahul Srivastava.
Rajdeep, the point is that several adjournment motions have been submitted. If the government wants to discuss any issue which is occupying political space, the government can relent on that. The point is, it is very clear, Rajdeep, that the government does not want to discuss Adani. On the other hand, by making an unnuanced statement, I think Rahul Gandhi has given a weapon, and eventually now there is no meeting ground in Parliament. I think this budget is going to be a repeat of 2018. The finance bill is likely to be passed without debate. Eventually, I think there is going to be din in the coming days, and that's bad news for democracy.
Okay, the fact is that we have a parliament which is increasingly dysfunctional in this country. And remember, you and I, the taxpayers, are paying for the functioning of parliament. And if parliament becomes dysfunctional, what does it mean for our democracy? Thank you all to my guests for joining me. Just a reminder that Prime Minister Modi will be at the India Today Conclave 2023 on the 18th of March. So hopefully the Prime Minister will lay out his vision on that. The opposition will also be there. Shashi Tharoor, Mahua Moitra, P. Chidambaram, among others. Raghav Chadda will be those who will be represented at the India Today Conclave. Now, India has made history at the 95th Academy Awards. RRR has won the award for the Best Original Song for Natu Natu. The whole country is rejoicing after Natu Natu's success. But that's not all. India also won in the short documentary film category for a film Elephant Whispers. Take a look of how India Today scripted history at the Oscars.
All right. Are you guys ready? Ooh! RRR!
Natu Natu dances its way to Oscar glory, creating history, becoming the first Indian production to win an Academy Award for Best Original Song. As music composer M.M. Kiravani and lyricist Chandra Bose received the golden statue, a whole nation erupted in joy.
Thank you, Academy. I grew up listening to the Carpenters, and now here I am with the Oscars. There was only one wish on my mind. So was Rajamouli's and my family's. RRR has to win. Pride of every Indian. And must put me on the top of the world. Thank you, Kartikeya and Variance Films for making this possible. Love you all. Thank you.
Coming after the success at the Golden Globes, the Oscar win did not come as a surprise to most.
It feels completely surreal. To be very frank, we were almost expecting to win the award.
Natu Natu has caught the world's imagination like no other Indian song. A short while before the award for the Best Original Song was announced, the act was performed on the stage with an intro from Deepika Padukone.
Electrifying. Do you know Natu? Because if you don't, you're about to.
It was a glorious night for India, one that will stay with us forever. Thank you, Kiravani. Thank you, Chandra Bose.
Now the icing on the Oscar cake, remember, came from Elephant Whisperers also. It's bagged the best documentary short film at the Oscars, making Guneet Monga's second win as a producer and a big win for the young Kartiki Gonzalez's directorial debut. The Elephant Whisperers is based on a true story, a heartwarming display of an unbreakable bond between two abandoned elephant calves, Raghu and Amu, and their caretakers, Boman and Belly. So what does all this mean really for Indian music, for Indian cinema? Joining me now, Ricky Cage, 3 times Grammy winning music composer. Prithvi Chandra is one of the singers in RRR. Wonderful to have you both on the show. Ricky, to you first. Natu Natu winning the Golden Globe Awards 2 months back, now the Oscar. How do you see this? You won a Grammy. Has RRR achieved the unthinkable? What does this mean? How big a moment is this for Indian films and music?
So it's of course a huge moment, but I do not believe that Indian movies and Indian music and Indian art need to crave for international recognition. But when it comes, it's absolutely amazing because it shows that our art has actually broken cultural barriers and reached out to people who would normally not be exposed to our art and our traditions. So especially because RRR is such an Indian film at its core, it's got anti-colonial themes. So because of all of this, I think it's a really, really proud moment for us to actually, because I believe that the whole of India has won this Oscar, and it's the same thing with the Elephant Whisperer.
What, according to you, worked for this specific song? What is so special about Natu Natu that makes it, a song that the world is dancing to?
So the song itself is very energetic. It's easy to remember. It's very intelligently composed, in my opinion. And also, most importantly, when you watch the film, you realize that the song signifies all the emotions that are within the film. The film is about friendship. The film is about sacrifice. The film is about love. The film is about love for the country. It's about energy. And all of these elements are very, very well signified within this song. And that's what makes this song really special.
Prithvi, congratulations. You and the team have done India proud. Your first reactions as someone who was part of RRR. Can you sing Natu Natu for us? What is and give us your version of it?
Sure. Before, I'd like to share a few words because I was just witnessing, and I was like kind of deviated between when I was asked to do, and then it's kind of something that we all expected, but we were just waiting for the right moment to be announced, and the entire India is actually looking proud, and like just as they promised, they just got back glory to Indian cinema on the world stage. And it's super happy moment for all of us to see Kiravani sir and Chandra Bose sir lift the Oscar, and I'm super thrilled. And here's a song for all of us again. పొలంగట్టు దుమ్ములోన పోట్ల గిత్త దూకినట్టు పొలేరమ్మ జాతరలో పోతరాజు ఊగినట్టు కిర్రు చెప్పులేసుకొని కర్ర సాము చేసినట్టు మర్రి చెట్టు నీడలోన కుర్ర గుంపు కూడినట్టు ఎర్ర జొన్న రొట్టెలోన మిరప తొక్కు కలిపినట్టు నా పాట సోడు నా పాట సోడు నా పాట సోడు నాటు 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 వీర నాటు 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 ఊర నాటు 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 పచ్చిమిరపలాగా పిచ్చ నాటు 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 విచ్చు కత్తిలాగా వెర్రి నాటు.
You know, Prudvi, you want to tell us more about your partnership with the music director, Kiravani, and of course the entire crew. How did all this shape this win at Oscars being seen as historic? Tell us how it happened, these partnerships that you all did for the film.
It's truly magical because Kiravani sir always has something to when we start working with him, there's always something to learn about him, something to learn about music or in terms of life. We've been jamming a lot of even before even before the entire story and everything. We started working, and there were number of versions, number of lyric variations Chandrabose sir has been giving, and then Kalabhairava and Rahul Gandhi, when they started off in their voice, I think it went off huge and went off in a very different way. And the whole world is resonating to it right now. Amazing. It's great to see our friends, our colleagues to be performing at the world stage. And yeah, I'm just out of words to describe how I feel right now.
You know, Ricky, even before winning the awards, Natu Natu had already become popular. Is this now in a way India arriving on a global stage through the songs, getting the mass approval abroad, and perhaps the Academy is recognizing that Indian popular culture is becoming more acceptable? We are going beyond the diaspora audience now. Is that how you see it, that this is in a way, in that sense, a watershed moment?
Absolutely, because for a very long time, whenever I would go to concerts abroad, especially when it was, film composers and film singers who would sing abroad, the only people in the audience would be people from the Indian diaspora. That's about it. Whether it is New York or whether it's San Francisco, whether it is Moscow, or whether it is any European city, they would all these musicians would be able to fill up complete stadiums of audiences. But everybody in the audience would be people from the Indian diaspora. So I'm hoping that these awards and these recognitions, especially when it comes to Natu Natu, will encourage more people from outside the Indian diaspora to actually appreciate Indian pop culture and Indian traditional culture.
But in a way, we are still a long way away from that, isn't it? For an industry of our size, our global impact when compared to a Korea, for example, is still small. There's a huge market out there. Do you think RRR will give Indian industry that confidence to take up huge projects, to think more global, or is it a one-off?
Absolutely, because if you look at what happened, since you brought up the example of the Korean film industry, again, all their films are about Korean stories. All their films have got Korean actors. The music is very Korean in nature. Basically, they've stuck true to their roots. And I think right now with RRR, which is completely an Indian story, it's an anti-colonial movie, and it is getting recognition in the West. So I believe that now more and more filmmakers will understand that all these stories, these NRI stories, and stories which are completely Western in nature, stories that do not have anything to do with our culture, are not going to be able to do well all over the world. It's basically the Indian stories that are going to do well. And as I said earlier, that we need to dig deep into our roots, and we need to think hard as what is it that makes us Indian? What is it that we can do in order to create art in which we can stay true to ourselves? And that is the art that will be appreciated all over the world, because art, when it is honest, is always appreciated.
Very nicely put, Ricky. Final question, Prudvi. How important is this success to you and to future generations of Indian musicians? I'm seeing lots of people talking about how it's put Telugu cinema on the map, Indian music on the map. What does this mean to all of you?
So when we see us at the Indian stage, I think they proved one point today, that there is a possibility, there is a way. It's so much inspiring for the next generation musicians to work and it is possible for us to make it really big if we actually if we are actually dedicated and passionate towards what we do. I think the limits, the sky is the limit, is what this moment proves everybody, all of us as musicians.
Well, just to say that it's been a great morning. It was a great morning, and congratulations to you, Prithvi, and your RRR team. And Ricky, thank you very much. You're among the trendsetters who's taken Indian music global. Thank you both very much for joining me here on the news today. Let's turn from there to another of our top stories, where the Supreme Court today referred the same-sex marriage plea to a 5-judge constitution bench. The government has called the institution of marriage a policy matter requiring a serious discussion. The order comes a day after the centre filed its response opposing the petitions. Here's a report.
After the historic takedown of Section 377, decriminalising homosexuality, one would have thought the progression to equal rights in India had started. Next in line would be legalising same-sex marriages. The government on the issue of decriminalising homosexuality had left it to the wisdom of the Supreme Court to take a call on consensual gay sex, or Section 377. One would have thought the government would do the same when it came to same-sex marriages. Not quite. Firmly opposing the legal recognition for same-sex marriages in the top court, the centre submitted its affidavit in Supreme Court on Sunday, stating the concept of marriage between man and a woman is deeply embedded in religious and societal norms, and any interference with this causes complete havoc with the delicate balance of personal laws in the country and accepted societal values. The government also asserted the court should refrain from recognizing same-sex marriage as the issue comes within legislative's domain.
Government is not interfering into the personal life, personal activities of anybody. So there should be no confusion or there should be no dilution on this matter. When it comes to an issue related to the institution of marriage, then it is a matter of policy.
On November 25th, 2022, the Supreme Court had sought the centre's response to separate pleas moved by 2 gay couples seeking enforcement of their right to marriage and a direction to the authorities concerned to register their marriages under the Special Marriage Act. The petition sought a direction that the right to marry a person of one's choice be extended to LGBTQ people as part of their fundamental right. The centre filed its affidavit in which it strongly opposed same-sex marriages. The top court has now sent the matter to a 5-judge constitution bench. The hearing of the case will begin on April 18th. However, what needs to be and should be questioned is the government's stand on same-sex marriages. By trying to sidestep controversial decisions in an election year, has the government of the day chosen to stand on the wrong side of equal rights? Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's take a break. On the other side is our good news today story. It comes from Jaipur. Back in a moment.
India Today Conclave 2023, March 17th and 18th, New Delhi. Listen to Oscar awardee Natu Natu's Ram Charan, the India moment.